Hey, my name is Benjamin Owen, professional coach, and I'm here today to speak about self-sabotage. And in my work coaching clients, leaders, and people leading organizations, I've noticed self-sabotage seems to come up quite a lot. And this is why. If you're someone who has a big force for growth, you're going to be met by an equal and opposing force for destruction, self-destruction. Now think about this. If you're somebody who wants to go and create amazing things in your life, you want to do great things, you want to have teams, you want to build organizations, you want to build businesses, you want to build a beautiful, loving relationship. If you've got a big drive for this, you're going to be met by forces that are stopping you from doing this. You've probably experienced them now. That's probably why you're watching this video. You've probably felt in the past, like, why is it that I get in my own way? Why is it that I've got something so good, which I can see, yet I'm doing something seemingly dumb and frustrating to stop me from getting there? And so many people who I've worked with over my 15-year coaching career have come into my space of coaching. They've shared that with me. I'm so frustrated with myself, Ben. I seemingly get so close to where I can perform or get to the next level or achieve the thing that I've always wanted to achieve, but then something gets in the way. I procrastinate. I stop doing the thing that I was doing that got me the success in the first place. I sit down in front of my laptop and I'll do anything but the work that is necessary for me to move forwards. Or I find myself spraying my attention into tiny little pieces. So then I can't move forwards. So then I look back at the last 2-3 hours or days and I've done nothing. And so this is how self-sabotage seemingly gets in the way. And what I want to do on this mini training is show you some of the ways that your inner enemy, the self-sabotaging part of yourself, works against you to stop you from moving forwards. And the first one is a victim narrative. So the way that our self-sabotaging psyche plays against us is it creates this story that the world isn't fair, that life isn't fair, that somehow the universe has singled you out and is going to make your life harder than everyone else's. The government, the climate, your market, Facebook algorithm, Instagram, whatever, seemingly doesn't want you personally to succeed. And no matter how hard you try, you may as well give up because you have been singled out for a hard life. And that's what a victim narrative sounds like. And then I always joke with clients, it's like the tiny violin voice comes in, poor me, this is hard, no one else is experiencing this. No one knows what I know. I'm frustrated. I'm so good, yet I'm not getting the results that I want to get. We've been there. And this is how your self-sabotaging psyche works against you. And if it can get you to believe that you've been personally singled out for a hard life, you're going to reside in this space of why bother? Why push? Why push into these things that are hard and difficult, which I'm going to be rewarded for? Why risk all of this energy trying to do this thing when specifically it's going to be hard for me? So that's number one. Number two is hanging on to negative emotions way longer than you need to. Now, I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you've had an argument with your spouse or your partner and the argument is over, yet you've hung on to the frustration, the blame, the resent, all of the negative feelings associated with that argument way into maybe the evening, the next day, or even the following week. And this is what your self-sabotaging part of your brain wants you to do. It wants you to reside in the negative, contracted feelings. Now, here's how this works. If my brain is in this place of anger, resent, hurt, and frustration, it's way less likely that you're going to be in a state where you're going to be creative, where you're going to be joyful, playful, expansive with your thinking. And if there's a part of you that's trying to pump the brakes on your success and stop you from moving forwards to preserve you, rather than you moving forwards, it's trying to keep your life the same and safe. Doesn't it serve a great purpose to keep you thinking about all the problems, all the painful things, all the reasons why you shouldn't move forwards? Whilst you're in this angry, frustrated, rageful state, you're definitely not going to be moving forwards. Number three is impulse. And this is something that I've gone a mile deep into with my work with leaders. And especially those people who like to pathologize themselves with ADHD or attention deficit disorder, and they say that I can't focus. I sit down on my laptop and it seemingly my attention gets fractured into tiny little pieces. If you think that, again, if you think about this, your most valuable asset as a leader, as a business owner, as a family leader is your attention. Your attention that you place on your kids whilst they're playing with you, attention in a conversation with your partner. Your attention is your most valuable asset as a human being. Now, if there's a force inside of you that knows that if it can fracture that attention into tiny little pieces through behaviors, through actions, through habits, it knows you won't move forwards. It's like a garden hose. When you've got your thumb over the garden hose, you've got power and force and you can move forwards. But if you allow that garden hose to dribble out, it has no power. It can't move forwards. It can't have any force or velocity. And it's the same with your attention. What your self-sabotaging inner enemy wants you to do is have so many places to place your attention that you can't move forwards. And then your life stays the same and safe. It makes perfect sense when you look at it like this. And the next one is energy. Now, this is something I never really thought about until I really went a mile deep into self-sabotage and why so many people don't have the energy to do the things that they know that are good for them. Now, I worked in the body transformation world for over 10 years and it frustrated me so much that clients would say to me, I didn't have the energy to come to the gym. I'd be like, well, it's going to the gym is precisely the action that creates the energy. And what happens is our inner enemy will create this narrative that we don't have the energy to do the things that we know that will move us forwards, that will give us energy, that will help us with our pursuit of excellence or success. And this may look like you opening up your schedule in the morning and seeing this litter of clients that you've got to serve or these appointments that you've got to fulfill. And you instantly take a nosedive with your energy. I can't possibly get through the day without external help. And that's where you turn to caffeine. It's where you turn to canceling people. It's where you turn to things like, frustration. And this is where so many leaders I've noticed have come unstuck. This is a real big self-sabotaging habit for some people. They just believe that they haven't got the energy to do the things that are going to have the biggest impact in their life, in their business. So they stop doing them. And the final one, I'm going to share, there's so many, by the way, there's so many, and I've noticed so many symptoms over the last couple of years especially, is sowing discord. And this is where, especially as a leader, this is so vital, is where you get involved in idle gossip around team members, vendors, customers, and you say things that you regret afterwards. And what actually happens, especially in this frame of self-sabotage, is you say things and they get passed on to these people. So what you're doing is you're sowing discord. Sometimes you're cannibalizing great relationships just to connect with people, or just to actually, what it felt like a seemingly insignificant conversation, but you've said something which is going to condemn a relationship. And these can be really, really damaging conversations. And you know that you shouldn't be having them in the moment. So there's 5 symptoms of how your inner enemy may be showing up in your life. And what do you do about this? What's the next step when you start to see there's many ways that I might be self-sabotaging? The first thing we actually have to do is label where it shows up in your life. Like, where are your self-sabotaging patterns and behaviors? The first activity I get people to do is label the sabotaging step as it comes up. It could be that you are procrastinating. It could be that you're pushing action into the future. It could be that you're literally impulsive as anything. You're jumping from thing to thing like a shiny object to shiny object and you're not moving forwards. It's really, really important to get present with how you self-sabotage. Once we've labeled the things that you do to self-sabotage, we want to start to use tools, what I would call tools, thinking tools, thought tools, to reframe how we are showing up in that moment. So to interrupt that self-sabotaging pattern, for example, when I'm sat at my laptop and I know I've got something important to do, and I pick up my phone, I start scrolling. If you think about this, like say I've got an hour to do some work, if I spend 15, 20 minutes of that scrolling and the the piece of work was going to take an hour, I've then lost that whole hour. So what I've got to have is a tool that can interrupt that kind of pattern. And then the third thing is learning how to use your self-sabotaging voice, patterns, behaviors as ways to show that you're going in the right direction. Now, mine was impulse. Mine was a big impulse. And now when I notice I've got a huge impulse to do something that is taking me away from something that is going to grow my life, grow my business, grow my relationship, I notice it, I label it, and there's ways I can maneuver my thinking to acknowledge that that's exactly the way I need to be going. It helps me double down on the work that's really important. Now, thank you so much for watching this video. And there's a couple of next steps that you can take. Below this video, there's a PDF cheat sheet to look at all the different symptoms of your self-sabotaging habits and how they show up. The next thing you can do is you can book a connection call with me to look at self-sabotage in your life and see how it's stopping you from moving forwards and achieving the things that you really want. And I can guarantee in life, there's two types of obstacles. There's outer obstacles, things like finance, cash flow, geography, skill set. They're outer obstacles, and they're really easily solvable obstacles. The biggest threat or the biggest obstacle that you'll ever come across in your life is you. And if you can remove that obstacle, it's like removing the resistance in a car. Every time you push down the accelerator pedal, you move forward easier, faster, and with less resistance. So if you'd like to explore self-sabotage and how it might be getting in your way, click on the cheat sheet, download it, look through it, and book a conversation. And let's coach and see what is getting in your way and how you might be able to remove it to achieve the success that you want in your life this year. Thank you so much for watching the video. Go click the buttons, and we'll speak soon.